And today we're reacting to the Gen Z career apocalypse. Bro, I feel like I'm very blessed to be in a position that I'm in. You know, I stopped working during a time when it was the pandemic. That was my last time I had a job. I was working at Amazon. Just from that point, I've seen how different and how difficult it is just to have a job, to get a job, you know, to do certain things, bro. And everybody that's out there, y'all already know I say it all the time, I'm the voice of y'all, because that was me getting up early to take these trips and go to work and do all those things, bro. So I had all the jobs, the hard jobs, the easy jobs. I've worked so many, like I know it, you feel me? Y'all hang in there and keep getting to it, man. Let's do it.
The no good, very bad, terrible, horrible side of the internet. The other one. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Also, don't worry, I am not wearing a full suit. Can someone tell me what's up with the Gen Z job market today? Oh, I am that someone. Okay, this is what's up with the Gen Z job market today. Gen Z cannot find jobs. The unemployment rate for Gen Z is almost twice the national average. Everyone says that there are more jobs out there than ever. Yet everyone I know who is struggling trying to find a job right now, for the life of them can't even get a call back despite networking, cold emailing, and entering all their information.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to think, what jobs are we speaking about? What jobs are we talking about here?
Onto company online portals twice. Please enter your information below. Why did you make me give you my resume in the first place? I don't know what the is happening with employers these days, but judging from both the experiences of people online and people in my own life who are struggling through it, we all seem to be sharing the same canon event of trying to jump into boiling water and then being told, oh, you actually don't have enough experience to jump into this boiling water. Now, I know it may be a bit naive for a YouTube commentary creator to be talking about the job market, but I promise you, I very recently had the same struggles as all of you did. And I swear, I'm not out of touch. Yet. Still got about 2 years till that happens. So
I'm getting there. I'm getting a little out of touch, I ain't gonna lie. But that's why I like to keep my boots. It's actually, no, I'm not. I'm tripping. I'm really not. Because I have somebody in my house that's working that, you know, my cousin, he lives with me. And we take him to work every day. He's telling me about the situation. When I was trying to help him, I've helped him since he's lived with me for 2 years. He's had 3 jobs. Well, no, 1, 2, 3, 4 jobs. He's on his 4th one here in 2 years. This nigga, bro. But I've seen him, you know, apply to a lot of places. You feel me? I've had to sit there and walk through. So I still know how to
actually graduated during the pandemic, and it actually took me 6 months and over 800 job applications to get my first job out of college. And that job was essentially what amounted to data entry. At the time, I thought 800 was an absolutely insane number of applications to go through before actually finding a job. And so to hear that 800 is actually on the low end of what some people are experiencing, I'm just here to answer, what happened to us?
3, they're expecting unreasonable salaries. Like, they think that they go to school for 4 years and come out with a degree and then they automatically start making 100K.
3 out of 4 managers hate working with Gen Z, and here's why. It's so bad that 27% of employers have fired the employee within the first month. Article from Where This Comes From states that most Gen Zers lack motivation, effort, and get easily offended.
Okay. All right. Now I can see, again, I got my cousin here. I'm seeing that. My cousin, that is the epitome of that. The lack of motivation to do the things, getting that job. When I was the type of worker, and mind you, I understand, bro. Those jobs, you not trying to do that. I understand. But me personally, I've never been fired. I've been fired from one job, actually. And it wasn't even like, I don't even know if it was on the record for real. I don't know. But every job like that had me going to a place, clock in, do my job, I was like, I do what I gotta do. I'm not complaining. It's a job. It's not supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be a great time. You kind of got to find the great times within the job. So I get it. I understand. And I can tell that this is actually a thing. This is also on some of the people too. And, you know, coming out of college, especially to make 100,000, I wouldn't know. that wasn't my reality.
Statistics. Do you know what percent of Gen Z workers claim they experience burnout at work? Not 20%, not 40%, not 80%, not 90%. 98% of you experience burnout.
Okay, so
Burnout at
we're having
work.
trouble in the job market because employers think we're lazy, we're too entitled, and we're all depressed. Kind of sounds like my cat, who actually just moved in with me. Minus the depressed part. He's actually very fat and happy. And so today I'm here to answer a bunch of questions. Questions like, are Gen Z workers actually just worse than other demographics? Or is the bias against Gen Z just an effect of the changing times and
the
culture
internet
that we have within the workplace? Are the people criticizing Gen Z just straight up wrong? And is it weird to slot
No.
a sponsor part
They're not.
right as I'm about to get into the meat of the video?
No, you're good, brother. Get your money, man. I love that for you, brother. Man of color. Get into this money.
Okay, cool. What's up?
Just leaving in the middle of the shift without telling anyone, or just saying, well, I'm just never going to show up to work again. I don't like it. On behalf of all of your coworkers, get f***ed. Tell somebody. Say, hey, you know what? This isn't working out. I'm not coming back. Or give a 2 weeks notice. Something. But whatever you do, don't just f***ing not show up.
See,
I never got why people did that. I've never had a job where I just wasn't like raised like that. You know what I'm saying? I was raised do your 2 weeks, but that's one thing I never did. I never sat up my whole 2 weeks. I give you my 2 weeks. Oh, so then yeah, I did. I guess I did do that. I did just not show up. I give you my 2 weeks. I'm working. I'll work about a week. As soon as the minor inconvenience, damn man, I thought it was gonna be 85 degrees today, bro. It's 86. I ain't going there. I don't get my, just wait till I get to my new job. I make sure I got a new job lined up. I would leave that. I would say, put my 2 weeks in, show some love, because you know I was just never a bad. I just wasn't doing too dirt. But then come my next shift, I might have fucked you off though. I might have did that to you for sure. But I would never just get up and leave my shift. I'm not coming back. I'm leaving. Like leave from break. I've never done that.
can understand from an employer's point of view why it could be frustrating for an employee to just not show up and quit without a notice. That being said, when you get laid off, does your work give you a 2-week notice?
Right.
Do they give you any notice at all?
My
And you know what? I think we
facts.
should be treating terrible
Facts.
jobs like terrible first dates by enforcing boundaries, making sure they pay their fair share, and ghosting the fuck out of them. Look, all I'm saying is, at least when someone ghosts me after a date, they don't also take my paycheck, my health insurance, and frankly, a piece of my already dwindling sanity.
For the fourth time, the fourth Gen Z worker we have hired at my job has not shown up. Second we get them done with training, because it takes about a month or two to go and learn all the systems, the computer equipment, the machinery, everything we got at this place. When we finally get them trained up to where they can be on the schedule, they just up and never call anybody again and never show up again.
I think there's this old Chinese proverb that translated into English goes, if someone smells like dog shit, then they probably stepped in dog shit. If everyone smells like dog shit, then you should probably check your own shoe. Confucius. If you have 4 Gen Z workers all suddenly up and leaving, the work conditions at your company are probably just bad. That means the people who left would literally rather be unhoused.
Yeah. The niggas that left was like, I think, boom. So check me out. I think a different standard level is now in place. That could be a good thing. That could be a bad thing. I think that people are probably so, hey, I'm not standing for this, bro. I'm not going like that. I'd rather just dip. Like he said, the people would rather be unhoused. I'll just dip. Fuck it. I get that. You know what I'm saying? Now, I just always revert back to me because it's me reacting. But I'm a thug it out until I can't. Or if it's just horrible, like, man, you must be crazy. No, I'm not going. Right? That's hilarious.
than work at your company. I mean, he mentions that the work is backbreaking and that the shifts are 12 hours even on weekends.
Oh
So
my
instead of
God.
having my normal 12-hour shift day, I'm looking at about a 16, 17-hour shift.
And it's not like it's a bad job.
It's almost as if they weren't transparent at all during the onboarding process. Yeah, this is not what I signed up for. And I think it just goes to show how out of touch a lot of these people can be when talking about Gen Z. It's just a complete lack of self-awareness and self-reflection, which are two major areas of improvement for our next guest, not actually a Dr. Phil.
You say right now you just won't hire Gen Z employees.
No, we don't. It's been a nightmare with 95% of the ones that we have hired.
Were you ever fired?
Oh, yes, sir. I've been fired.
Yeah, what for?
Oh, I had not coming to work once. You know, I was in my 20s and fresh out of the military and just kind of decided to do it my own way.
So let me get this straight. You yourself
Nigga, but what do you mean? What do you mean, nigga?
when you were younger was literally fired for not showing up to work. And yet you were still given the same opportunities that led you to become a successful businessman. But now that you are a successful businessman, you now actively choose not to give those same opportunities.
I'm seeing in this video, like, I'm very accountability driven. Like, I feel like for a second he wasn't giving that much accountability, but that clip right there did just kind of change my brain. Like, hold on. Maybe there is the accountability thing, but it also seems as if that motherfuckers is a little just more impatient these days. You know what I
To
mean?
people who are literally in your position.
Impatient,
Why is it
sorry.
that you're allowed to make the same mistakes that younger generations are making, but we aren't? This really seems just more like a young person problem and not a Gen Z problem. Because you for sure know that this guy's bosses were probably saying the same thing. Oh, you don't want to work a 12-hour shift? Back in my day, I didn't complain a single time where I did 14-hour shifts in the coal mines. Oh, you don't want to work in a coal mine for 14 hours? Back in my day, I didn't complain at all when I was pulling 24-hour shifts in the factory at 6. This sucks ass.
Eric, you had one that showed up dressed like Harry Potter posting videos.
They were doing Harry Potter TikToks. Yep, I can't make this up. And then they told me they were working.
Okay, first of all, it's called marketing. Wouldn't expect a mudbug like you to know that. Second of all, at least he showed up to work.
Not coming.
I ain't going for that one. Nah. You playing around on my clock, bro. Playing around on my clock. No. Watch out, man. You fired. Get off my shit. I ain't gonna lie.
To work ones.
They then, of course, have to hit the old adage of internet bad.
And you've seen it.
Personally, I think it boils down to obviously how they're raised, and right now this generation is being raised by the internet.
They're raised by the internet? No, we're raised by you. It wasn't the internet that packed our lunches or bought.
Hey, that's real. You saying that like, nigga, you ain't have no part in, you know, now the internet has a larger influence than it once did, but you are still raising your child. You are still allowing him. Like, for instance, my son yesterday, tripping bad. He yelled at me like he was little Timmy in this picture. Yelled at me like on some like, I was like, oh, this man forgot that he has a black father that come from a black mother that came from a black mother that came from a black father that came from the black mother. You know what I'm saying? I said, man, watch out, boy. I said, bring your boy. Had to handle him. You feel me? And I was like, it must be because he been on that damn phone too much. We could play this little game on my phone. He got games on the phone. He like playing the games on there. You know what I'm saying? He must have been having too much fun. It stimulated his brain a certain way that he thought he was Jacob. Why? I said, what? So just like that, it's like, oh, you don't. So tomorrow, and potentially you under punishment, bro. Days going forward. I don't know. We gonna see if you get to touch another device. You might be on months no device. That's raising.
As phones or enforced healthy boundaries on screen time, it was you. And considering the fact that the internet is literally 50%, we'd all be gooners by now if that was actually the case.
What do you think his go-to was?
Okay, maybe.
What, excuse me? Goon meet up in front of
a point. At one point, they bring in a Gen Z healthcare worker and have a 4-on-1 team deathmatch with her, which really pissed me off because this is clearly not skill-based matchmaking and was completely unfair.
Hey, what's good, y'all? I'm back again. And I've been putting a lot of people on to this program called Free Cash for a while now. Check out one of my supporters that had the biggest payout that I've seen yet from all the DMs y'all have sent. And I promise you, they've been hitting me up saying that they've tried it and it's worked. They've been getting cashed out, and I love to hear that because it genuinely actually works. And don't think I have not been seeing y'all's comments saying things like it doesn't work, Dior supporting a finesse, they're trying to take your data, and it's not true at all. And the fact that y'all would think that I would even put that on a video to get y'all finessed is wild to me. But hey, first off, Free Cash does not sell your data. They strictly track your progress to make sure you can get paid. Only sign up with an email and password and give no personal information. So I don't know what y'all are talking about. Here's how it goes. You sign up through my link, and inside you see a list of apps and games. Download them, play, and beat the levels that they tell you. That's the key. You got to complete the requirement. And once you hit the level, the system credits your account. And every time you finish, you get real money. Cash out to your PayPal or get a gift card, while it also being free of charge. The games pay Free Cash to get new players, and Free Cash just shares the money with y'all for trying it out. It may take a little time to get a huge payout, but if you're gonna be on your phone playing games anyway, you might as well make $5 to $10 doing the same thing. I don't want to hold y'all any longer, and I hope I've cleared up some things if you've been sitting on the fence. Hit the link, try a few games, and then DM me. Let me know that you've been winning, actually getting your money. Like I showed y'all earlier, bro made $1,000 off of Free Cash. I'm not promising that's gonna happen every day for y'all, but the fact that there's a possibility for doing something that y'all already do should really be all the convincing that you need, bro.
For the full.
I'm expected to be cross-trained without any bump in pay. I'm expected to cover for people who, quite frankly, they decide when and if they want to come to work. And so no, I'm not going to overextend myself and bend over backwards for companies who don't take all the little nuances of being an employee of theirs into consideration.
I mean, I'm a serial going above and beyond person because it's where it's gotten me in my life and in my career.
Sure.
And did I always get paid for it? No, but what I value more is my integrity of who I am as a person.
Do you know what I value? Paying my bills.
Doing the least, doing the bare minimum does not represent corporate America or corporate women, or certainly Black women in corporate America. How would you know if you've never tried to go above and beyond?
I have tried it.
And it's failed you? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, corporate has failed me.
So the problem is there's something called paying your dues.
Again, instead of making us pay our dues, how about you help me pay my
You got to pay your dues. You're going to have to put your dick's going to be in the dirt for a while. You know what I'm saying? You know, you might not, you're going to be hustling and busting your ass for a while until you get that $3 raise from us. And it's like, this is the mindset that I was brought up on. It's one that I will instill into my son. Because without that mindset, it does not bring me to where I am. Because, and this is the thing, I agree with Shorty that was saying, you know, we need to be paid, like I'm not breaking my back, I'm not going above and beyond for XYZ and this that. I understand why you wouldn't do that, and I get it. But I will be instilling the thought process of the other woman and the thought process that was put onto me, to my children. Because if I felt as if I needed a reward for my work from YouTube, I would not be where I was at. I would not be where I'm at. There was a long time where I was doing something, not getting views, not getting money, not getting anything in return, but I was busting my ass for it. So just that mindset, that ideology to have in your brain is a good one to adopt, because it will allow you to pursue things that will grow you. There's going to be a period where you're not going to be getting and earning for your own thing that you're building. You see what I'm saying? But you're going to have to still go above and beyond. Why not? It's good to just go ahead and have that in your brain and in your psyche already. So whenever you do whatever it is that you want to do, that's not a battle that you have to It's not a super horrible, difficult battle you got to fight through your brain. It's just like, yeah, this is how it's supposed to go. I got to pay my dues. I got to fight to the top. There's going to be a while where I don't get it. So I say that to say, I understand what the young lady's saying, and I get it, and I'm with her. You feel me? Nigga, I want to pay my bills. I want to get money. Pay me money. I need money. Like, if I'm going to work harder and do more, pay me the money for it. If not, then I'm just not going to do it. But I advise that you do what you're supposed to do. Maybe not break your back, all that, and put that energy that they want you to put in their business into your own thing. That's my advice.
Bills. And I think this is a huge reason why Gen Z is so disillusioned with the current job market right now. The current old guard are still arguing for paying your due before actually getting paid. And unfortunately for us, inflation doesn't really wait for us to pay our dues. It just wants you to pay.
Where's my money? You gonna give me my money? Where's my money, man?
And that's if you can actually find a job, which today feels less like hunting for a job and more like getting hunted by a job. The amount of hoops that some companies are asking their applicants to go through is asinine. Write a short poem using these words: giraffe, cacophony, and giggles. Okay, here you go. Giraffes are long, my giggles are too. But not for this crap, cause holy you. It's not hard to go online and find job openings that are requiring advanced degrees and pay close to minimum wage, or have thousands of applicants just hours after it's posted. And it makes it all the more frustrating when you have creators like this popping up in your feed and gaslighting you into thinking that everything is fine.
People are lying to you about the job market. This is actually a great job market. There's record low unemployment. So why is everyone saying the job market's so bad? Way too many people competing for the same handful of jobs. That's part of it. And then people have really gotten lazy in the way that they're applying to these jobs.
Are you actually a spatula? Let's talk about unemployment, by the way, which as of recording this video is 4.1% or 7.9% for Gen Z. I'm going to dig deep and fall back on my background of being a econ and accounting major and take a look to see if that 4.1%
Put a Patagonia jacket on.
Econ and accounting major, and take a look to see if that 4.1% actually is indicative of a healthy job market. What exactly is not included in that 4.1%? If you've applied to thousands of postings and you decided to take a break from job applications, you are not in that 4.1%. If you were a six-figure engineer who was laid off and now you have to DoorDash to pay rent, you're not in that 4.1%. Not that there's anything wrong with doing DoorDash, but going from Mang engineer to DoorDash is probably not indicative of a healthy job market. And if you work in a job that pays so little that you have to decide between utilities and food, you are not in that 4.1%. So yes, technically, the unemployment rate is 4.1%. But as we can all see, that is definitely not a good measure of economic prosperity. The actual percentage of people who are either working jobs that pay under $25,000 per year or are unemployed is actually closer to 24%. I thought this whole entire time we were just numbers to them. It turns out we're not even that. And this isn't even touching the insane attitude that a lot of managers today have about work culture. I found this one LinkedIn post talking about a company power hour. This morning we launched the Just Eat Power Hour. Our colleagues told us while in lockdown, they were on back-to-back calls and found it difficult to take a break away from their screen. That's not how we roll. So we introduced Power Hour. Oh, nice. So we get an extra hour on top of our lunch break to do what we need to do, right? Right? Is this in addition to the lunch break? This is an hour to be away from the screen. You can be writing your to-do list, having lunch, going for a walk, exercising. You choose. This is literally a rebranded lunch break.
I was about to say, so they just added an hour. They added an hour to your lunch. You just get our power hour. Guys, we got a power hour for y'all now. Make sure you clock out, though. for your power hour.
No. Actually, this is great. I have been inspired. I will now allow my researcher to use the toilet rather than the company provided bucket I'd leave in their cubicle.
When you are 22 and in your new job, throw yourself to work. Eat well, stay fit, but put in 18 hours a day for at least 4 to 5 years.
Jesus
that
Christ.
Early worship.
Jesus Christ. Hold on. Wait, let me read this. When you are 22 and new in your job, throw yourself into it. Eat well and stay fit, but put in the 18-hour days for at least 4 to 5 years. I see a lot of youngsters who watch random content all over and convince themselves that work-life balance, spending time with family, rejuvenation, blah, blah, blah is important. It is, but not that early. That early, worship your work, whatever it is. The flex you build in the first 5 years of your career carries you for the rest of your life. Don't do random Ronadonna. Take it on the chin and be relentless. You will. Okay, let me break this down right here. Bro. There is truth. I'm sorry. There's truth. Jesus. Bro, there's truth. Like, okay. My early 20s, and I be saying this to an extent. My early 20s, I really did, like, I refused a lot of things. This mindset is not for everybody, bro. It's not. But it reaps very big benefits. I neglected a lot of things coming up, early 20s. For success. I'm kind of neglecting certain things now for success, right? I don't go out and see my family as often. You feel me? When I talk about my family, I'm talking about my mom, my brothers. They live out in Dallas, so we're in Houston, so I'm about 4 hours away. I'm not going out there often. You know, I just kind of started moving around a little bit more. I'm getting a setup at my mom's house, so when I do go, at least I can still work and stuff. But it's just one of those things where it's like I'm not here. You feel me? I'm not moving around as much. But early on, I was thinking about relationship a bit, you know. But again, like nigga, I had a son on the way. I needed money, bro. So I was just so focused. I was so locked in. And probably about 21 is when I started like really being locked in and just trying to figure things out because I wanted to create a certain life for my fam. And I would do it again. I wouldn't change it. I would do it again. I wouldn't change it. If I had to do all of it again, they said it changed, I wouldn't change anything. I would do it all again because it's all worth it now. You feel me? Like, thank God that, you know, the only scary part about stuff like that is neglecting things and then somebody passes away, God forbid, or something like that, something that you just can't get back. But it's like I did all this work and now my family gets to live wonderfully, and it's just I have to continue, and I have to, like, okay, my girl, my son, they got to do some things right now. Daddy's working. That's just how it works. You feel me? So I'm for this, but with a grain of salt to your and form to your own lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like, form to your, don't take this so literal. 18 hours a day, 4 to 5 years. It might even take that long. You might even be all right. Let me make sure this fan's going, y'all. But yeah.
Put in 18 hours a day for at least 4 to 5 years. That early, worship your work. The flex you build in the first 5 years of your career carries you for the rest of it.
Oh, nice. At least you have your work to flex, because you certainly wouldn't be flexing anything else. Working 18 hours a day and staying fit and healthy are...
I didn't work 18 hours a day. That's what I'm saying. Don't take this literally. But I worked multiple hours, many days on my own thing. You feel me?
Mutually exclusive things. And I think I can actually speak on this from experience. When I was doing a summer internship at an accounting firm, I was roommates with someone who was also entering that summer, except he was doing it at an investment bank. If you don't know what investment bank work culture is like, this man was an intern working 16 hours a day, up to 6 days a week. On move-in day, he had a 6-pack. In 10 weeks by move-out, he had gained 20 pounds just from the stress and inability to eat healthily. But I don't know, he was only working 16 hours a day. Maybe if he followed this guy's instructions and worked 2 more every day, he'd probably still have a 6-pack.
You guys are spending your Sunday nights watching grown men fight over a ball. I'm making cold calls and catching up on emails. How to win Zig with Everyone else zags.
If I'm trying to enjoy my Sunday night and I get a single cold call,
you know, we have some great deals on
trace the call, Siri.
Today, if you know what I'm talking about, you know, and you seem like you know someone who knows about in their ass, so yeah.
This nigga's funny, dude.
Like at 10 p.m. on a Sunday, so but oh, hold on, someone's at my door. Hey, wait, no.
Guess you should have zagged.
Hey yo, Gen Z, quick question. Are y'all having sex? Because it doesn't really seem like y'all are having sex. Or doing anything fun, for that matter. I don't have a ton of anecdotal data about this, but the data that I do have suggests that y'all don't like to go out, don't drink, don't do drugs, and don't really have
Yeah, I don't know who she's talking about. I don't know what part of the world she lives in. But yeah, these motherfuckers is doing all of that. So
You can be an overthinking, anxious adult the rest of your life. Your 20s are for fucking up.
Yeah, so we can't find jobs, and even when we do, we're overworked and underpaid. So tell me, with what money are we going to buy drugs with? Maybe if 70% of my pay didn't go to rent and the other 30% went to groceries that I need to live, I can buy some nose beers, Lauren. Anyways, that's the only reason I don't have sex. That's the reason. But that's not to say Gen Z doesn't have any issues when they do make it into the workforce. For example, like that one girl that got fired because she went in.
I just want to take a quick second too, y'all. You know, we're deep into this video. Oh, matter of fact, this wasn't even what I was going to say. Like the video. There's a longer one, so please like the video. But as there are a lot of people in less fortunate situations, you know, quote unquote poor people, people that are not having ways, you know, being broke, you feel me? As much as there are that many of people like that, if y'all have the time one day, go to if you can get into the area, or just go to like one of the richest areas in your city. Drive around and see how many big ass mansions there are. There is a lot of rich people in this world. There's a lot of poor people. You feel me? There's more, clearly more. But just know, there's a lot of rich people. It's not just only select few. It can't be. You can go drive into somebody's neighborhood where there's mansions and be like, damn, there's a lot of mansions in here. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of people that are getting a lot of money. I don't know if that does something for y'all. I just know one day I had the realization driving in an Amazon truck. I was like, there's a lot of people that are broke, but there's also a lot of rich people. This isn't just something that just stops. Like, there's ways to figure this out.
To the office on her first day in an office siren uniform. Yeah, so I was trying to find the original video by searching office siren in TikTok, and unsurprisingly, all I got was porn. So, in fact, upon further review, there actually isn't an original video. The whole drama stemmed from a single comment on a single random video. So much like all the other complaints with Gen Z in the workforce, this one is probably fake and made up. That being said, let's try to not normalize this. Let's dress business casual and not let's get down to business, because it's just making everybody think that this is what we all dress like in the office, and we're already having a tough time as it is. And to add to our misery, a while back there was also this trend of tech influencers showing off a day of their work.
That day in my life working in tech. I started my morning with a hot yoga class, although of course on my way out the door, somehow the handle to my closet broke, so I couldn't even get my yoga mat. I then made the mistake of scootering into work because I didn't want to walk in the rain, but honestly I think walking would have been less painful because with the wind chill, my hands were literally frozen. I was actually so cold that I made Blake warm my hands up for like 10 minutes because I couldn't feel my fingers. But there was a really cute dog in the office today, so that helped make things better.
This is actually one of the more tame ones I've seen, but it still made me go, maybe you shouldn't have posted this. maybe that wasn't a good idea.
I then had another team meeting to talk about our sales strategy for the year, including quotas and comp, always fun stuff. And then I had some time to actually get work
She's selling a dream, boy. She making work look fun as hell. She got just a great fun life.
done, which is very unusual because I'm usually in meetings all day.
Oh, it's unusual for you to actually be able to get your work done? Okay, cool. Shut the fuck up. This is not me being angry. This is legitimate legal advice.
Hey guys, welcome to a day in the life of a Googler in New York City. Before I head up for breakfast, I get out Milo's office bed and his office toy. First, I need a coffee. The free coffee is seriously one of my favorite perks at Google, and I take a minute to appreciate our beautiful office views.
I heard Google employee now. That's a people that I've heard love their job. Niggas that work at Google, I've heard love their job.
After that meeting ends, I have a coffee chat, so I head up to the rooftop because the weather was nice. A little OOTD. Then I had more back-to-backs until around 5 p.m. that day.
If you had a job that paid you 6 figures and all you did was play with dogs, grab snacks, and be in quote-unquote meetings all day, why would you tell people about it? That's a dick move. This is like if you were robbing a bank and getting away with it, and then you decide to go and tell everyone how cool it is to rob a bank. Like, replace the word a bank with Google, and that is literally what is happening.
I had another meeting after this one, so I head back down to the MK, grab a LaCroix and an espresso, and also do a little snack tour to see what we had today.
Look, I don't think there is anything inherently wrong with benefiting at the expense of a multi-billion-dollar corporation. But posting these for everyone to see not only doesn't do anything for the rest of Gen Z, but this exercise of trying to seek external validation for your cushy-ass job is actively harming the rest of your generation. If the perception of Gen Z is that...
I didn't see it from this perspective. I was seeing it from the perspective of like, man, you finna blow your spot up. You finna blow your spot up. People finna be looking all into, so let me see what you're doing. And I was just thinking of being more private.
They're lazy and overpaid. Videos like this kind of prove their point. Yeah, this video is way longer than what I'm used to. Look, I know that a lot of what I've said today comes off as doomer and extremely negative. And going into this, that is really not the attitude that I wanted to carry this with. And while I am joking for a lot of this video, there are serious structural issues with the job market right now. It may not be the reality for all of Gen Z or even most of Gen Z, but there are people legitimately struggling out there. So I want to offer you a different perspective, a vision for a future, nay, a glimpse into the inevitable epoch of when Gen Z finally take over the economic reins. Can you imagine a world where we all go into the office only if the vibe is right, and where it's acceptable to dap up your boss, where it's totally okay to end an email with anything like slay or period or I want to kill my... Like, what if we did have a world where everyone understood the struggle of rising prices and compensated people fairly? What if we didn't have to pay our dues, but we were entrusted as capable and adaptable employees who could be counted on to finish your work on time no matter where we were? That is our future. That is our inevitability. And that is what we have to look forward to. And for those of you who are still on the job hunt, you've probably heard this a million times by now, but try not to be discouraged. Yes, things seem bleak.
That's real. I like what he's saying right then. But the thing prior, not gonna lie, brother, I don't know if a lot of that works. I don't know the logistics of it all, but I genuinely can say I don't know if it's that simple. I don't know if we can, if that, yeah, sorry. I don't think that works. That being said, let me know what y'all think. Like the video, sub, comment up, and share the channel. I love y'all, bro. I appreciate y'all. I'm great for y'all, man. We are gone. ADD lad, dog.